Hey guys, we're just doing a test real quick. We'll be right back. Aaron, can you hear me? Can you hear me on live fine? Well, I know there's a lag. All right, so I know, I want to know if we can hear you. So tell me if you come across. You don't hear you? That was the problem that we were having with Dennis, and I don't know what this. I don't know why. I don't know what's going on. I mean, we hadn't used this in a while. Just keep talking. I'm gonna play with buttons and stuff. I haven't done anything, but people's been in here and they move stuff around. We did we had some electrical work done, and I'm afraid they moved it around, but that shouldn't have affected this. Just keep. They can hear me, so you need to keep talking till we pick you up. Well, I'm not going to talk anymore. Just keep saying test one, two, three, whatever. This is really frustrating. Well, you're connected up because I can hear you. I just don't know. Hold on, let me try something. Talk now. All right, let me try one more thing. All right, now do it. Yeah, just keep talking. I mean, I can hear you fine, but I don't know why we haven't done anything. No, because I think Dennis called me last time. I mean, I don't know that you can call me, can you? Okay. Yeah, we're checking the. We're trying to make sure that Aaron's live. Nicole, it's I got here a little early and we're still on the tail end of it. And I don't know why it's not working. It didn't work with Dennis last week either, or the week before, and I don't know why. I mean, I can hear him talking to me. Uh, eh, Maybe. I don't know. That won't work because there's a delay. He's not. I don't know. That might work. We might try that. That's our next best thing. Aaron, you're not here, are you? He's supposed to be trying to call me. We're going to see if that works, and if not, then we'll do what you said. So anybody joining us right now, we're not, okay. He's calling from WhatsApp. I don't know if that's going to work. Okay. Honestly, if he does it that way, I would take it off, take these headphones off. He's calling me from WhatsApp and it's making me do an update. So Aaron, if you can hear me, it's making me do an update to receive your call. It's almost updated. Yeah, try again. All right. I hit answer. Are you there? Let me see if I can call him back. Okay, you there? Well, you're on, but you're on there, but you're not on the phone. Okay, wait a minute. Here we go. You there? I just flipped you. Are you there? Aaron. Hello, Aaron. No, I can't hear him. Aaron, are you there? Aaron.
You guys hear me? Sound off if you can.
Well, can you hear? I can't hear you. When I put you on the BTA, which is this over here, it's not working. Now I'm putting you on speaker. Speak now.
Check.
All right, hold on. I'm gonna do something. I'm gonna take that off, and we're gonna do it the old-fashioned way. Put you on the speaker.
Hey guys, can everybody hear me? Yeah, I can hear myself now.
Okay. All right, so we are gonna do this a different way. I'm gonna turn this up a little bit. All right, Aaron, talk and let's see if everybody can hear you.
Hey guys, sound off if you can hear me in the comment.
Everybody hear Aaron okay? I'm quiet or Aaron's quiet? All right,
It's probably me.
Okay, so we're gonna do a sound check, and I need you guys to tell me. Can you hear me first? Everybody, and is it loud enough? I can change mine. Okay, they hear me fine. Now, Aaron, you speak.
Hey guys, thanks for coming to the stream today. Check.
Hi, George. All right, can you hear Aaron speak again?
Check. Sounds like I'm at a...
Yeah, I know. I mean, all right, did you guys hear Aaron? He's talking through my phone on the microphone. That's why it's this way. I wished I had a speaker to hook up to, but anyway, I don't. All right, so you guys can hear him. I'm sorry, that's the best we can do. For some reason, my system's not working. It's not. I get him on the air, and when I talk, or when he talks, I can hear him just fine. But it's not going through. We'll have to. Yeah, we'll just. This is the best we can do. All right. So welcome everybody. This isn't the way I normally do an entrance, but welcome to Lucky Dice Live. It's Friday night, and this is what we do every Friday night. Generally, we like to talk about an hour about HeroClix and what's going in HeroClix before we do our auction. So we're going to talk tonight about some things that I think that are very relevant to the community, things that we want feedback back on, and we want you guys to tell us about, and some things that that are going to be a little bit surprising, I think, that I found out recently. So last week we didn't run a show. I was at the Alliance Open House. The Alliance Open House, for those that don't know what that is, it's where all the game makers go, and Alliance opens their door to us, and we have a 3-day deal where we get to hear presentations from them. They give us a lot of freebies. They feed us a little bit. It's almost like a con, but really they're just trying to sell us. And what we did is they do these little things where they go into a room. They call them focus groups, and they'll talk to a group of us one at a time. So WizKids did that the weekend, and I also got to sit down and talk to Mike Webb, who is the new head chief of WizKids. Now I'm going to go into that in detail just a little bit more after I tell you this first piece of news, and I think that everybody kind of missed them. I don't know that anybody. I was there with a lot of people. I don't know how many of them were HeroClix people, but I don't know that they really understood the relevance of what he was saying. So Mike did a presentation. He did mine. I think they rotated it around. So there is if you guys don't know this, there is a new thing that they're doing that seems to be a strategy that companies are using. Specifically, I'm getting a lot of bleed through from you right now, Aaron. It's like you buy a car or something.
Yeah, hold on.
Sorry, guys, for the sound. All right, let him fix that. All right. So
Yeah, that should be better.
good, it is. There's a big strategy with a lot of companies. Bandai is one that's definitely doing it. So is Pokemon. They are underprinting product, and I thought that was something that they just weren't able to handle, or something along those lines. Because I've been very pissed about my allocations for some of the product, and they ask us to order months in advance, and then we don't find out until a few weeks before what our allocations are. Scott Johnson is probably somebody that can attest to this. He's in our group. He's in our chat, but it's frustrating to us. So I mean, I did complain to Bandai. I did complain to other people, but it's in what Bandai said when I talked to them was they're doing it on purpose. They are wanting to create value and a sense of urgency to buy product. So when people are, it makes it rough on me, because a good example is I have 566 boxes of One Piece ordered. I have 310 boxes pre-ordered by customers, and I received 67 boxes on my allocation. That's not good. So but they're doing this purposely. And I think they're doing it a little bit more extreme, but they're doing this purposely. You need to go to Dark. The best place to see the stream is on YouTube. So if you guys can go to YouTube and look up Lucky Dice Live, that's the best place to see the stream. So yes, WizKids is going to start doing this. They started already with Lantern. Going forward, they told us that they were going to start not producing as much product, and they wanted to create a sense of urgency and to drive people into the store to buy. So my point is, this is big news, and I don't think anybody else really heard this, or they didn't really understand the impact of it. For example, Lantern Legacy is almost sold out. I don't know how many of you guys know that. They got a little bit more coming to China. There's some in the Alliance warehouses. PhD is out of stock. GTS doesn't sell anymore, and they are they don't have as much. They don't have as much, and um, it's already started, Jay. They started it with Lantern Legacy. Going forward, they're not printing as much, so restocks are going to be harder, um, and we're going to need to probably order a little bit more when we do on our initial sale, so we make sure that we have enough in stock. I don't think I have a problem with what they're going to, as long as it's within reason. Um, for example, One Piece Bandai, in my opinion, is out of reason. We're not. They need to. They. I understand their. I understand the strategy. I think that they just need to adjust it a little bit more to where we're buying a little bit more, and I think it'll be fine. Um, Scott, I don't know. I don't know if that's a good question. Scott wants to know, will that affect pre-orders? Because we are definitely affected by pre-orders with Bandai and with Magic and with Pokemon, um, and even got affected by Lorcana this past go around. I'm hoping that it doesn't go to that extreme. It didn't obviously on Lantern, but I think that for Bandai doesn't control. I'm using them as an example. Doesn't control our allocations. Our allocations are controlled by our distributor. The distributor's allocations are controlled by Bandai. So Bandai lets the distributor know you're getting this much of your pre-orders, and then they look at all of that and they allocate us down. So I hope it never gets that bad with HeroClix, but they are going to be producing less, and they are going to be. There's going to be some effect on that. I'm hoping the effect is just restock. I'm hoping that we get plenty of stuff in the beginning and the whole 9 yards. Um, you reconnected there for a second, Aaron, but you didn't miss anything. So that's the first thing. That's the first just straight up big news that came out of to me that came out. Um, if this all WizKid product, are they just sending out HeroClix? No, they just talked to HeroClix. They didn't say that on all WizKids product. They said that on HeroClix. Now, if they're doing other product, I'm not saying, I don't know that they are or they are not. I do know that they said they're doing HeroClix. So this is important for people to know, especially store owners like myself, and really for everybody. So that's happening. In fact, it's already happening. Um, Now, the other thing that happened is I sat down with Mike Webb on a one-on-one because I had a lot of things that I wanted to talk about. I had a little bit of complaints, a little bit of urgency of wanting to get things done, and it was a very good meeting. And I'm going to share. There might be some things that I don't share with you because I have an NDA and I can't say everything that I was possibly told. But I feel the things that I'm going to tell you, I feel comfortable in saying those things. So first of all, for those that don't know, there's been a huge change, infrastructure change that I keep thinking is over at WizKids, but it keeps going on. And I think they finally got it the way they wanted to. So a lot of my contacts, a lot of the people that I've known over the years have whittled away out of WizKids. Justin Zoran being the primary on that. I've known Justin for a long time, and Justin was the one that reached out to me and talked to me about Rock and about doing some stuff with me. And I was doing stuff with him even before Rock. I was doing. We used to have an online community, have an online game, and WizKids sponsored that, and I headed that up. Depends, Jay. I don't have a problem with it as of yet, but if they go to the extreme like Bandai does, to where we're not getting the product that we're ordering initially, I think that would be a problem. And I think that Scott Johnson, who was just talking, is going to say the same thing. I think that would be a problem. Now, back into what I was talking about. Justin had left the company earlier in the year. Before that, they were already doing some stuff differently. Jake Theis was there. Now, Jake Theis is the guy for you guys that went to Worlds and went to some of the events that he's been speaking. He's a redheaded guy, real nice, very knowledgeable. I've been fairly pleased on my end of the things that he says and the thoughts that he has. He was a key component in bringing in Iconics. Um, that was like something he's pushed. I think the retail chase boosters is something that he has pushed. Um, so those are things that came from his end. Well, he's no longer now with the company. When Justin left, they took somebody out of marketing and filled in for Justin temporarily, and I thought that was going to be it. Well, then that person ends up was not going to be the person that was going to be in charge. Justin was a president, and Jake Theis was a vice president, and those terminologies no longer exist at WizKids. The head cheese now is Mike Webb, and he is the general manager. Jake was let go, and I was told that position wasn't going to be filled. And then while I was there, I found out from Mike that Jimmy O'Brien, who is one of my long-term contacts, has now filled Jake's slot. Now, I don't know what his title is per se, but I do know that he got a promotion and that he is over the HeroClix brand. So Mike Webb, then from my understanding it's Mike Webb, and then to Jimmy. Jimmy is the one now that is over that, which I can't say that I'm unhappy about at all. I think I'm happy. I'm happy for him, but he's the guy that I generally talk to when I need something, and he has always helped me. So for me personally, that's a good thing. Now, I don't know how much of this, did you know all this, Aaron?
Yeah, I know all that.
Yeah. So all of this just happened like in the last couple of weeks. And so there's been a big change up, and again, I'm okay with it. But I mean, the problem with that is I've been dealing with different people for the last few years, and I talk to somebody and I get promised. Jake was a good example. I was talking to Jake before Origins, and then Jake said they'd have to put me off to just after Origins because they were busy working on something. And so I finally emailed Jake, and then I find out Jake ain't there no more. So it's causing problems. And so part of what I talked to Mike was about rock prizing, about rock states, about the rock cup, H for H, and a few other little things. And I got good answers, and I was told that anything that we agreed upon would be put in writing. So, and that wasn't my idea. That's what he said, and I really appreciate that. So, I mean, everything from the cost of what I'm paying. I mean, if you guys don't know this, I don't get any of this stuff for free, and I have to pay for it. But everything's going to be put in writing, how it works, and the whole 9 yards, and that's going to make my life a whole lot easier. So the things that I talked to him about was one, I said, look, we got H for H. I've already got a date. Scott Porter has already committed to the date. And I said, you guys were fine with the date, but I do not have, absolutely not, Wes. And that's that 100% not true. With HeroClix, don't ever start saying anything like that. They have plans going way forward. HeroClix is their flagship, and they make a lot of money. There's no thoughts on WizKid's part of phasing out HeroClix. In fact, they're deep in negotiation with Marvel right now, and I was expressed some of those conditions that Marvel were putting on them for future licenses. So that's not the case at all. Josh says I see it like this with Wizards. I got actually a demo of the game before it actually took off. So I played for that long. Yes, it's been ups and downs. I've gamed and rolled and dice. The goods, man. I'm planning on staying with it. Yeah. So nothing is being phased out. That's definitely not what this would be about at all. But it's not being phased out. I think everything I'm going to tell you is on a positive end. So If that makes you feel better, anything that I'm telling you today is positive, except maybe the reduction of making product. But I think that's a I think that's a there's reasons. I think they want to increase people buying, but also if you guys have been paying any attention, they got a buttload of product that's old, uh, and they're trying to sell it out in the warehouses and stuff. We see the sales all the time on their site, and they're digging up some stuff like how in the hell do they still have this type stuff, like 15, 20-year old stuff.
Silver Age sales?
Say again, Aaron.
I said, you mean Silver Age sales?
Yeah, I mean, I'm talking about silver and golden age sales. They're yanking some stuff out that's old. So what happened? You know, now that you understand the infrastructure, the other thing that's happened big time with WizKids is they had they had an agreement with Alliance, and I don't know what the total agreement was, but I know that Alliance Distribution had an exclusive with them, and I also know that part of that deal was that because WizKids doesn't have any warehouses and stuff on their own, it's the week, Nicole, it's the weekend, I don't know on the top of my head, but it's the week after Mother's Day next year. So WizKids doesn't have warehouses of their own. So part of the deal they made with Alliance was that, hey, will you guys store our stuff? So the problems that's happened over the years is that the inventory, keeping up with that inventory that was in all of their warehouses all over the country and separating it from them, I think that's why they find things, because they don't know that they have it. Well, what's happened is Diamond Comics, who owned Alliance, went bankrupt. Alliance, who was a profitable company, withdrew themselves from the bankruptcy and stayed in check. And then WizKids had all of this stuff at the Diamond warehouses and at the Alliance warehouses. And WizKids bought NECA. Let me rephrase that. NECA, who owns WizKids, bought Diamond. So all those warehouses are now theirs. In fact, in the last 3 weeks, I had something shipped to me from WizKids by Diamond in the Olive Branch warehouse. If you guys didn't know this, there is a Diamond warehouse just south of Memphis in Olive Grove, Mississippi, and that's, you wouldn't even know sometimes that going from one to the other that you even left Memphis. That's how close it is. So that's one warehouse they have, and they have several warehouses. So WizKids, part of this stuff that they're talking about with inventory problems and that they're going to a new system, part of that is that they're controlling their own inventory now, and they're going in their own warehouses. That's good for them, I think, for the WizKids store. I think that also helps them to send, they got multiple distributors now. What was happening was Alliance was sending all their stuff to the other distributors that are their competitors. So anyway, a lot of that's been fixed, and the reason we're seeing a lot of the stuff is because that the old stuff is because they're finding out that they got it, and so it's that's what the mess has been, guys. And so they've got new people in charge, they got a new infrastructure, and they got new ideas going forward, which is part of what I'm talking about tonight. They've done inventories and anyway. Yeah, I was fortunate enough to find some of those battery packs in the PhD warehouse, Jay. So I know exactly what, and I would have bought every one of them I could have got my hands on, but there was only one case there, and I was lucky enough to get it. So now, that being said, what else happened? What else is going on? What are their plans? Like I said, they've got a new infrastructure. They're working on shipping and stuff. They're doing a different. They're not producing as much. One of the things I complained about, I didn't have a lot of complaints, but one of the things I complained about to WizKids is that, look, I have no problem with the WizKids store. I think it's great. I said, you guys sell an MSRP. I can compete with that. My customers, if they want to buy from you, they really, I mean, I think that I think that if you can't buy from your local store, I think you're probably out where you can't buy at all. But you should buy from always should buy from your local store when you can. Um, the problem is, or look for a deal because WizKids is going to sell at MSRP and that's fine. Um, but generally, the store gets it before the WizKids store. I'm going to have my product generally before WizKids has their product available. I think they do that purposely. But I called foul on Iconics because I had a guy come into my store, and I don't know remember what it was. I'm gonna use Beetlejuice. I'm just using Beetlejuice as an example. And the guy walks in, he says, "Man, I can't wait to get my Beetlejuice." I said, "Man, I've got 6 boxes sitting on the shelf. What do you mean wait on your Beetlejuice?" He went to the WizKids store and he bought from them. He had to wait, but he got I think he got a gnome and something else as an incentive, which is something that I couldn't provide. I sell my Iconics at MSRP. I do a break on my cases and on my bricks, but my Iconics I'm selling toe to toe with WizKids on MSRP, but I can't offer a case incentive or offer a incentive for purchasing it with me, and it's not fair. So I complained about it, and he told me that wouldn't happen anymore. So the incentives, as a store owner, anybody that runs a store will tell you that was not what we were promised, and it's irritating. So that's going away. The other thing that I talked to him about, I'm just going to go through this. I said, look, every year I plan way in advance, and I can't get answers. I said, what I need from need from WizKids now isn't, I don't need a detailed list of everything you're giving me. I just need you guys to say, yes, we're involved with H4H. He committed to it. He said they are involved and they would be supporting it again, which is all I wanted to hear. So that allows me to go and do things, announce my dates and blah, 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 and all that stuff. And so there's going to be information coming out, more information about that, the venue and everything else, here in the next few weeks. So I'm trying to plan ahead. I'm not worried about the pricing right now. We all know the pricing is going to be good. So that's fine. So I got to commit. And I said, the other thing is states. I said, I've been running states for years. It's like the biggest event that everybody looks for. And I've been trying for months to get prize commit for states. I'm ready to go. I said, I want to run this at the end of the year. I want to run states, but I've been being I've been being put off. And I said, I'm at the situation now. If you guys don't tell me pricing very soon, there's not going to be a states this year. So he told me he would take a look at that. He would commit and he would put something in writing that they were having some difficulty with pricing and stuff like that. And my answer was then, I said, look, what I want to run is 2 states a year. And I've been requesting for 3 or 4 years to be involved in the ordering for the following year so that it's allocated to me when it's time for the states and blah, blah, blah. So he said they would take a look at that. Then they are wanting to, like as always, they're wanting to bring in new customers. They're wanting to bring in new things. And he talked about his OP program, and they got a lot of new ideas on the OP. And I said, I do too. I said, I've talked about this. I would like to be involved in the OP program. I don't want to run it. One time I was told by Justin that I would eventually run their OP. And I looked at him, or I just like, my thoughts going through my head was like, I don't know that I want to do that. And I don't know that I want to do that. And I don't think I want to run their OP program, but I would like to be involved with their OP program. My problem with organized play, and there's several, is that I think that there should be participation, and I think there also should be prizes that are, and we're going to talk in some detail about this in just a minute because there's another thing that I'm going to be going through. I think that the prizes should be limited and not readily available, that I've got 20 of them in my store. I think that participation, sure, but I need to have something needs to be worth the value, and whatever, and collectability wise, it needs to be a little bit rare, and it also needs to do something. It needs to be, you want to be able to be, you want to play with it. You want it to be effective in the game. I don't know that you have to build Scott Porters that you can win, but you need to have something that's worthwhile that people like. I want to win this because I want to play it, and also it's rare, so it's worth a little bit of money to entice people to play. And I think that that's part of the problem. They have lots of different things that they can do with terrain and bystanders and with figures. And I think they're starting to grasp that. But I asked if I could be part of the of some of the talk about OP, and I was told that I would be. And also, I said part of the OP program and part of the overall WizKids program altogether. In my opinion, I would like to bring everything together. I would like to bring regular store play. I would like to bring OP play. I would like to bring all the rock events. I would like to bring championship clicks. Anything that's done in the store and that you play, I want to bring it all together into a point system, just similar to what we have with rock. But I want it to have a point system, and those point systems should be what qualifies you for higher level play, like nationals and worlds and whatever. But I don't want to do it where it's just WizKids play. I don't want to do it where it's just rock play. I want it to be HeroClix play. And obviously playing in different events would get you more points, just as they do in rock. But I would like to put it all together. Not to mention, we now have somebody that's very involved in our community and has created a system to where we can do that with on the system. That's HC units. There's no reason why we can't run the game under HC units, and points are awarded automatically, put it on their player's profile, and that would qualify. They would reset every year, but it would qualify you for different levels, and it wouldn't matter what country you're in. If you get enough points locally or whatever there, and it's enough to get into nationals at a certain point, whatever. That's a lot to be discussed, and he was very acceptable to doing something like that. So I'm hoping that I'm having some input. The other thing is that our future in HeroClix is new players, and I was tasked a long time ago to get kids involved, and I came up with a program that costs next to nothing. It involves the venue and the community with the venue, and it involves some WizKids, and it costs next to nothing. And it's an adopt a school or adopt a church or adopt whatever, something in your community. I, as Lucky Dice Games, would go find somebody, and I've ran Pokemon Club in stores, and so I mean in schools. So I know how to do this, but and I don't know that I would go to a school. I might go to school, I might go to church. I'll find something, and I will ask my community, hey, we're going to run pulp. We have a perfect format for it. We're going to run pulp. Bring me all the crap that you got, the bulk that you don't want, and we're going to pile it up and we're going to give it to these kids. And then we as a group, we're going to go in there and we're going to coach these kids, and we're going to run little tournaments for them, teach them how to play. And then we're going to run a league or run a tournament or something along those lines for these kids to play. And then one or more of them will qualify to play in a junior world championship, and we'll do that at Memphis, Tennessee. And that's what we should be doing. And they can go there, they can win, and then they'll see all the other people playing and all the stuff going on. It's going to keep them excited, and a high percentage of those kids will develop and become regular HeroClix players and learn from the community. Me, myself, if we were to adopt this program, I would pay for that kid. I'd pay for his room. I'd pay for everything that he needed to play with at the tournament. And we can do this. It's already. I mean, it's there. I mean, I've got boxes and boxes of HeroClix that used to get thrown away. Every store, every community in this country has bulk. maybe the store doesn't have as much bulk, but as a community, I guarantee you that if there's 6 or 7 HeroClix players in a community, that the store got them together and said, hey man, let's take all this bulk extra stuff, let's put it here, let's go find somebody to sponsor. And I would put a shirt on my kid, I would sponsor that kid, and I mean, I would just really get into that. And I think a lot of other stores would do that too. And it's also it's an opportunity for publicity. It's an opportunity for advertisement. It's an opportunity for community advertisement. You don't think that a TV station or a radio station hears about this, they're going to come back, what are you doing? What's this for? This kid gets to go to the world championship. You don't think that that's not publicity, it's not going to happen? You don't think that parents are going to be going like, what the hell is HeroClix? You don't think that communities around you don't think the rest of people in the school, when they found out this kid's getting to go play in a world championship, you don't think that that's not publicity? That's the best publicity. Word of mouth is the best advertisement that we could ever do. Hey Wes, and it will work. It just takes putting the program together. I feel very confident that it can be done. What does WizKids need to do? Well, what WizKids needs to do is they need to recognize the stores that are running this, give them some kind of special, make possibly some con exclusive or something that for the store, give them a plaque, give them some kind of deal for being able to do this, and maybe send them some rules that they can pass out to the kids. And then make the event at Worlds. It's not that hard, it's not that difficult, and we want to bring in new players, we want to bring in kids. This is it. I was tasked by the former vice president of WizKids to come up with a big kids event, and I did it. I feel like I've done it. I just need the community and WizKids to get behind it. So that was all the things that I talked to him about, me specifically. And I got back home. I got an email, or I got a message from George Massou, which I think everybody knows. George is a multi-time world champion. I don't know if he's won 2 or 3 times, but he's well known in the community. And Aaron's got a copy of this, and we're going to address this because he asked me to address this to the community, and I've read it over, and I'll be honest, there's some things I disagree with what he's saying, or there's some things I think I fine-tuned, and we would like to hear back from the community, which is why I'm doing this. So let's go to what this is. He says he recently had an opportunity to speak with Mike Webb, same guy I've been telling you about, the new GM of WizKids, and pass on his thoughts. And he talked to some individual HeroClix players on these thoughts, and he shared this with Mike, and Mike is taking a look at it. I agree with some of these things, and I think that some of them need to be fine-tuned. So I'm going to read the first one. You guys listen up. I'm going to let Aaron express himself on this, and then I'm going to express myself, and I'm just going to go down these one by one. It's not that much, but it is something that I think that these kind of things are positive, that we need to be talking about what do we need, how do we grow the community, and George is trying to be positive. He cares about the game. All right, number 1, mini bricks. 6 packs per $75/$80. We need something between a booster and a full-size brick, and we need guaranteed pools. X1 Chase, 3 seniors, times prime. The 2 odd boosters can have thematic set bonuses like equipment or legacy cards, etc. per mini brick. Nobody likes junk. Bloated boosters, bricks, too expensive, and they're no oomph. MTG is 36 packs for $100. Start competing. What are your thoughts on that, Aaron?
I like the idea of a mini brick. I think it would go far because right now, even locally for some of my guys, there are some of them that just can't afford $200 bricks anymore because of how much the MSRP has gone up. And the fact that the current 12 booster bricks aren't getting us more oomph. I agree with Massey there too, where we just ended up with 2 extra rares. It's not a guaranteed prime, it's not a guaranteed chase, and some of the bricks aren't even more than 3 super rares. So it was like they added us two more boosters and no more rarity. So I agree with that.
Well, if anybody can recall, when we went from 10 boosters to 12 boosters, and we started seeing the ratio, that was my complaint, is that we're spending more to buy the same to receive the same thing that we did before. We're having to buy two more boosters, and we're not getting anything more than what we did before when we had a 10 booster brick. So my concern as a retailer was that I'm asking people to buy a brick. I'm asking them to pay more money, and they don't get anything more. And yeah, they get two more boosters, but the boosters, you're just like Aaron said, we're only getting what really got hurt. What really was hurt when we went from 10 to 12 was super rares. I've opened up everything. I've done the math. The chase and the primes are about the same, but we get less super rares. So I think, a good idea to adjust this. I don't like the way that he's doing this, because I think that if you are giving too many chases, too many primes, too much of the desirable stuff, it doesn't become special anymore. It doesn't become valuable anymore. Now, when you start saying a chase, and you get a chase in every brick, is it a chase? If you start getting a prime in every brick, is it a chase? And I'm talking about a 6-pack. Is it even a chase anymore? So I don't want to lose that rarity, and I don't want to lose that value, because that's what we are, a collectible game, and we do buy and we do try to get things because of the value. But I think that there's a reasonable way that we could do this. So this is what I would do. I would leave everything alone as far as what came in a case, except I would divide the case up into 6 mini bricks. So I'm not 6, I'm sorry, 4 mini bricks. So I would take George's idea. You would still buy a case. The case would be the same price as what we've been paying, but you can now open it up and you can do mini bricks. And the mini bricks would be 6 each, priced accordingly. And I would make sure a chase or a prime was in every mini brick. So you'd be getting 2 chases and 2 primes. I would make sure that happened. 2 chases, 2 primes in a case, and you would be guaranteed a chase or a prime in a mini brick. Then I would put 2 super rares in every mini brick. So you would now be getting, where we were getting 3 super rares per 12, you would now be getting 4 super rares per 12. So every brick that you got, you'd be getting guaranteed a prime or a chase, 2 super rares, and then all the other stuff. And then that also makes the mini brick very affordable, to where people can buy a mini brick and still get something. That's me. That's what I think should happen. What do you think about that, Aaron?
Yeah, it's still not far off from what George said either.
Yeah.
It's going to add value to what people pick up. It's going to make people want to go back to their local stores, because, again, I'll name drop Safari Zone. Their online prices are insane, and locals end up going there, and I know that happens across the country, because they get such a big deal on the price of the brick and whatever incentive Safari Zone throws in, and it just kills local scenes. Like, if you're in a small town, they're going to go for the better deal, and getting some store owners to hear that is kind of talking to deaf ears.
I sell
I would like to see mini bricks.
I sell under MSRP, but I also sell a lot. I think you can sell at MSRP if you want to, which is around $200 for a brick. I sell $160 for a brick. So what I would do is I would sell mini bricks at $80. I would be 80. I might do something like, if you buy a brick, you get $150. I would come up with something. The bigger the thing you buy, a case, you get even a little bit more brick if you buy from me. But I think that there's a way to entice people to where they don't feel like they're spending so much money, but they know that they're going to get something I know I'm getting a prime. I know I'm getting a chase. I know I'm getting two super rares, and then my regular ratio of everything else. And I think that's a fair deal. And it doesn't
I
really.
will
Go ahead.
I will jump in and say the sculpts on every rarity have to get better. Like super rares and chases and primes have been pretty solid, but if they're gonna this price current and the way they're doing breaks with the 12 boosters, the bus stop sculpts have to out. It's not
I
what we
agree.
were talked about and promised a couple years back now. I think we actually went backwards from what they said they were going to do when the prices went up at Wonder Woman.
Well, I agree with you, but I don't know when they started doing that, and I don't know the reason why they started doing that. That's another conversation to have with WizKids. But before I say that they need to do that, they may be doing that because of the tariffs. It may be because they're trying to keep the price down on, um, they're trying to keep the price down on
Like
clicks.
I know some of the sculpts they've done has been because they want to make sure it can fit in a standard booster. Stuff like Mogo, or I know in the Venom preview there's the lizard peeping out of the sewer lid. Like all of that is meant to like make characters fit in the boosters and be different. So I know that was something they were looking at doing, and I think they're getting those spots done well. They just need to do more of that. If they don't have to be like over the top plastic usage, they just need to be more than like Superman standing on the street corner. Like that pose needs to just not be a thing.
I agree, and I've seen some of that. I know that some of that's coming out in X-Men. Wes, what would keep them from buying a full brick? It's the same price. What you're either buying, you can buy two mini bricks that add up to one full brick for the same price you were paying before, or you can buy a half a brick. And speaking as somebody that have watched people buy, generally somebody's going to buy half a brick and then turn back around and buy another half a brick and then buying the brick already. But this is an option for people to be able. Nothing changes. You would get two chases, two primes, and you would get you'd get 8 super rares in every case. Which right now we're only getting 6 super rares. So if you might everything there is better. We're getting a little bit more value, and we're able to buy at a lower price, which I believe would keep sales going. Because I mean, it's just when we got up to buy a case, and you have to spend $400-$500 for a case. It's a lot sometimes. Do I sell them? Of course I do. People like to buy them, and people still will. I will still offer case incentives. I will still do full brick incentives. I will do all of that, and I still will sell that. But now you got people that they can buy a mini brick, and they know that they're going to get a chase. They know they're going to get a prime. They are a prime, and they're going to get 2 super rares and everything else. That's better than what we're getting right now. And you're not having to spend a gazillion dollars if your budget doesn't make it. Because I mean, come on, man. I've got people buy from my store. I've got people that make lots of money that none of this even affects. But I also have a lot of people that are living like a lot of people, paycheck to paycheck, and they need to have an option to be able to buy something. And this accomplishes both. You can still keep buying your cases and getting what you've been getting, but you also have the ability to buy a little mini brick. And I support this idea, but I think I just think it needs to. What George came up with is good. I think it just needs to be edited, because I don't want to make it to where you kill the value and you kill the collectability and you kill the meaning behind having a chase or a super rare or whatever. I don't want to lose that. All right, we're gonna go into the next. Um, you're already getting that. You're already getting that. It's the same deal. you're just having to buy a brick and you're getting a chase and a prime. Now you're not spending any more money. You're at and it's your option whether you want to buy the other brick. The other little mini brick is still good and gold. It's got a prime or a chase in it, so it's still it's the same thing. You're getting extra super rares. I don't think that that's going to prevent anybody. I think that it's the case of if somebody gets what they need, they're going to quit buying anyway, whether they buy a big brick, whether they buy a case, or whether they buy a mini brick. But most players I know, they like opening things up, and now you're giving them the ability to buy, not spend as much money and open things up. All right, this is a good one. So I'm gonna read this to you. I'm gonna let Aaron respond, and then I will chime in. He said, extend modern age to 3 or 4 years. Give clicks longevity, deepening and diversifying the modern age figure pool. Allow time for steep rules and learning curve to settle in. Frequent rule changes and power creep make older figures feel obsolete. Thoughts there, Aaron?
So maybe not 4 years. I don't hate 3 years, but I also think really pages should be they're in and out for how long they're in modern. So Leonard's Legacy came out on whatever date, 2 to 3 years from that date, it rotates out.
Your opinion is exactly the same as mine. I don't want to go 4 years. I think that let's keep in mind that everybody that all sounds great. Let's keep it around for 4 years. But how many things have we been? Oh, thank God we don't have Carnage Surfer anymore. Thank God we don't. That this is out. That in the meta changes. So
I mean, Wonder Woman was here for 5 years.
And that's too much. So I think the idea is good. I think 4 years is too much. I think 3 years. Basically, every set gets, instead of saying years, let's say that every set gets three shots at Worlds. Right now, we're supposed to be every set's getting 2 shots at World, unless WizKids says no, we don't want to do it. But I think that just put it in concrete that every set gets 3 years, and if you got a problematic figure, that you address that problematic figure and not the whole set. If you got something that is just destroying and that everybody's upset about, you deal with that problematic figure either by nerfing it or, if, in worst case scenario, saying, hey, we're not going to allow this figure anymore. 4 years is yeah, I agree. 4 years is too much. I think 2 years seems too soon, maybe. And the problem that you got, this is why 2 years feels wrong, I think. Lantern Legacy just came out. So it just had its one shot at Worlds. And then next year is its second, and then it's gonna be gone.
Rotate.
Yeah, because it came out, so it's not even gonna get a full 2 years in play. I think that whether you come in at the end or not, if you give give it that every set 3 chances at Worlds and then rotate it, I think that makes more sense to me. I think it's accomplishing what George is saying, and I think that I think it just feels healthy, feels right.
Well, and it also continues to add value to your collection, which is the whole idea of, if it's only in modern for a year, like if I don't play any other format at all, why do I need this thing? It doesn't matter anymore.
And
so you need to add value to the collectible part of the game. Like, it needs to do more than just its run.
Yeah, I mean, then you got stuff like Notorious, that their figures go out just as the stuff that they needed to make it fun or good comes in. I'm talking about all the Black Lanterns.
They're about to have a whole new ball of wax fun in silver because.
Oh yeah. So anyway, and Silver's great, and I think that, but I think that we at Silver, as the custodian, so to speak, of Silver, are fine with 3 years. 3 years is fine. I don't think we have any problem with that. All right, number three. Moving on. Expand franchises beyond Marvel and DC, anime, movies, 80s, and more pop culture. V for Vendetta Iconics. I think that they're trying to do that. Are they trying hard enough? I don't know. I mean, I'll go further with that one. I'll let you jump in there, and I took this one first, I guess. Um, there's a lot of I would like WizKids. I like WizKids to make money, and I would like to see them get as many things that they can get that don't require a license. Um, for example, uh, I think I would like to see another Undead set, but I would like it done better, and I would like it to be meta worthy. Um, but that set sold really well. People like it. I still, every time Halloween comes around, I can still sell a lot of Undead. I mean, I've never had a problem selling Undead, but none of those things require a license. So, I mean, it means they make more money. It means, why not do a full Undead set? I would buy it. Would you buy it, Aaron?
Yeah, I mean, look at the LEs they made. We finally got Bigfoot and the Jersey Devil and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Go set and give me Loch Ness Monster and the Yeti and some other stuff. Like, there are all kind of monster-related things they could do that's not IP.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, yeah. Old things that, I mean, I don't know what the licenses are. I'll use this for an example. I mean, you go back to a lot of your old Jules Verne and your old your Edgar Rice Burroughs novels. There's a lot of stuff in there. I don't know that you have to have a license for all that stuff. I think that all that stuff doesn't exist anymore. If you go like, I'm going to use this as an example, Snow White. If you go to the original book, I don't think you have to have a license for Snow White. If you do Disney's version of Snow White, you do. So,
yeah.
So there's things that can be done, and I think they should look at that a little bit more. And I would love for them. God, I would love another indie set done right. I'm talking. I'm going way back to Uncarded days, and we had Hellboy, and we had good God, man, we had all the BRBD, and we had all the Witchblade. Witchblade is awesome.
Gen 13.
Gen 13.
Yeah, like Darkness. There's a lot of characters that'd be great to see Indy come back, and even added to now.
Power Rangers doesn't surprise me because it's all Hasbro. We're very tied into Hasbro with the licenses. I think you're going to see more and more of that. I mean, you're seeing the Hanna-Barbera, you're seeing Scooby-Doo, all those things are going to keep coming back, Steve. I think that there's going to be
more. I need a Hanna-Barbera set. There are so many things in that.
There are
characters we could so get a set with Hanna-Barbera.
I want a. This is like one of the first cartoons as a kid I remember watching. I mean, I must have been like 3 years old or 2 or something, and I remember watching it. And we lived off base. I'd love to see Herculoids. I'd love that. I would love that when I was a kid. I mean, I love that show.
Herculoids, all the Space Ghost stuff, the
yeah.
Galaxy Trio, the Godzilla cartoon, that's how we get Godzilla. I mean, like, there's a whole thing. Johnny Quest would be fun because you could do all the versions of them. Good Lord, I can keep going. I've talked about this 1,000 times now.
Yeah, so I mean,
Hanna-Barbera has a great pool of characters, and they can just go with it.
So we all know that licensed figures sell because they're popular, but I think that I think they can go after licensed figures more that are non-Marvel, non-DC. I think that anytime they've done that, I think Indy was not, that set was not done right. I think they had great characters, but everybody had stealth, and everybody had blades, and nobody had move and attack, and there were very little flyers in that set. It was, but there were a few good things in there. But I mean, it wasn't Me and Aaron fight. We put on a map. All of our figures have stealth. We can't attack each other. So, all right, Aaron, I'm going to move my guy next to you. I got super senses, and I'm going to and you have to attack. I'm going to let you attack me first, and you better hit me. If you don't, I'm going to hit you back. That's what Indie Hero Clicks was.
Nope.
Now,
Indie did some cool stuff though, like the Judge Dredd promos.
Oh yeah.
The Judge Dredd promos that were England only and stuff like that. Like, it'd be a nice throwback to see any of those come back.
I think Witchblade was good. I think the Hellboy stuff. Hellboy was extremely popular. He was a unique that was desired about as much as any unique there was at that time. People paid good money for him, and they still want him. I think there's a lot of good stuff in there, but I mean they just need to have Johnny Alphas. I used to play the hell out of. I used to play the hell out of way back in the day, but they all did different things, and that set could be done better. I don't know if they could ever put that all together the way they did before, because there's so many different the indie set represented so many different comic book lines. So I don't know if they could do that, but I think there's enough. Invincible, for example, Invincible came along later, but it ended up kind of being part of that indie set. I don't know that. I think an Invincible set would do well. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, the Amazon cartoon.
Yeah.
Back full circle, so definitely would.
And G.I. Joe isn't a bad idea either. I just saw that when George mentioned G.I. Joe. I play HeroScape, and G.I. Joe is coming out. G.I. Joe and Transformers is coming forth along with Marvel in HeroScape. So the license can be got, but they need to know that it doesn't have to be Marvel and it doesn't have to be DC for us to buy. That doesn't mean we don't want Marvel. It doesn't mean that we don't want DC. It means that we like to have a variation and mix that in, something along those lines. So I agree with George. I mean, not George. Yeah, I agree with George here. I think we all would like to see a little bit more emphasis put on that. Number 4, increase WizKid support locally. Saturday morning clicks, family and friends, sled directed, scheduled events, attracts younger, newer players, maybe fathers and sons and siblings. Go higher, go home mentality. Pricing should be a minimum chase figure. I don't agree with that one. Time booster buy-ins, regular scheduled. League MTG buy-in is $30. Downloadable, printable advertising for stores. Overarching thematic league seasons lasting 3 to 4 months. May include thematic rewards. What do you think about that?
Yeah, local play needs lots and lots of love. There's outside of pre-release events for new sets. The chase boosters have been a nice bonus, and I think stores have found ways to do events for them. We need more, whether it's this new OP program or the winner maps or something. We need more. It needs to be I want to say it was 5 years ago, where even if we had 4 LEs for the same LE, there was enough space to let every set exist. Where we got more product, which is great in the long run, but it makes everything go from new and shiny and I want to play it to, well, it's been 2 weeks, the new set's out, I don't care about this toy anymore. And then you move on to the next one. There's not enough time to let things breathe and settle and see how it fits in the game. I feel like more local attention gets that done. So yeah, I agree here. We need way more local attention.
We do need the local attention, and I think this falls back to what I was talking about before, that I want to have some input in the OP program, because that's really what we're talking about right here. And I have lots of ideas to make that work. Everything from the point system to the pricing, to doing different things. I disagree with them that chase should be a prize. I think the pricing that they make should be better. It should be desirable. In the beginning, they changed things. And I think that I remember Justin telling me that he thought he had the best OP program than any other game manufacturer, and I never I knew, I saw it in his eye that he really believed that, and there was no sense to me to tell him different. But I never thought that. But in the very beginning, for those of us that's played for a long time, first of all, we got LEs, just like we do now, but they were set up differently. You didn't get a gazillion. The store didn't get a gazillion LEs. We didn't get boxes and boxes of LEs. We got a set that was supposed to last us so long, and there was judge pricing in there, and then we were supposed to give out one for this and one for that, and there was a mixture, and then we got them. And a lot of those LEs actually did something. They actually were stuff that you wanted. Some of the LEs, I mean, you got a Jane Foster that had willpower and healing. That was a big deal at the time. You had a guy that could pulse wave. That time you could pulse wave your own figures. We had con artists that needed to be pulse wave, so they go to perplex. There was a lot of things that were being made at that time, and then that was good, and then they also were cool. And the other thing that they did is the LEs were actually part of the set. Whatever the current set was, the LEs were part of the damn set. So if you were trying to complete a set, you wanted the LEs so you could complete your set. And then when a new set came out, we flipped over to another thing of LEs. If you want, I have no problem. I think there should be participation for players, and participation could be an LE that maybe is very common. It could be terrain. It could be bystand, whatever. I'm all about participation, but I think that when you win something, you want to feel like you won something. Not that, oh, there's 1 million of these out there and they're worth $1 a piece on eBay. That's just not. You need to have you want to feel like, damn it, I won this tournament and I got something cool, something of value. Even if I'm never going to play with that figure, even if I'm never going to do anything with that figure, I know somebody else out there wants it. Even if I'm not a completionist and I'm worried about my collection, I have something of value that I can trade or sell to somebody else. And we don't have that right now. The stores are getting too much OP. I got 3 distributors, and I can get 4 boxes of, if I wanted to, and I don't do this, but if I wanted to, I could get 4 OP kits from 3 different distributors, and I would have all, and it's just ridiculous. Now OP kits cost a whole hell of a lot more than they used to, because we used to get OP kits for $6 or $8. Now they're like $20. They have gotten a little bit better, but they're still not where they ought to be. They need to, and there's still too much of it. It needs to be. I need to get an OP kit that lasts this month, and it's got all the prizing laid out, and another OP kit for the following month. And if we got a storyline event going on, then maybe there's no OP, but just a storyline event. It needs to be set out for the stores that they get their stuff and their players have the opportunity to win it. And when you win something, it's not just everybody in the world's got one, that you've got something special. That's and you can accomplish that without throwing a chase out there. Because when you throw a chase out there, all you're doing is depreciating the chase. Why can't we make a figure that and put in an OP that people are going to want? I know I can do it. I know Aaron can do it. He could design one. There ain't a doubt in my mind. And and you don't need that doesn't mean every OP figure needs to be meta. What that means is the grand prize needs to be worth happening. Sometimes you can get a piece that's really powerful that really is never going to be played in the meta, but the name it's a big brand and people want it, and they just want to play with it. I'm giving you an example. We never really, Superman Prime Con LE, we never really saw played in the meta. Every once in a while you see somebody play it, and I would bring it out for certain games and stuff myself, but everybody wanted the damn thing, right, Aaron?
Yep.
Okay.
It's hard to get.
So if you had a Superman Prime as an OPLE, would people play for it and want it?
Yep.
Exactly. And that's what I'm trying to say is that it needs to be some thought put into the grand prize, so to speak, the big prize. First place
Well, I
wins,
mean,
be worth something.
look at Lantern's legacy. How hard would it have been to give us a legacy card for any anti-monitor figure they've ever made, or make a new one?
Exact.
There's an OP prize for Lantern's Legacy's release month.
So I mean, I just think that the OP program needs a revamp, and they need to understand what people want. And I think that they think that giving everybody plenty of everything, that everybody wants that, and that makes everybody happy. It doesn't. It needs you have to have a you got to give people a desire. You have to put the desirability back in the OP program that I want to win this. Um, I mean, I would love. I wish that we all just played for fun. I mean, come on, guys. I wish that we all just played for fun, and that every Wednesday that I ran my stuff, and I'd have 25 players that just showed up, and they didn't give a damn whether they got anything or not. They were just playing for fun. And there are some of us that do that, but in general, if you want 25 people in your store, you got to have something there and have something to play for. And that's what um, exactly, Dark. That's kind of what Rock does. Is that they give the ability for store. They're supposed to give the ability for stores to have a bigger OP and have something more desirable for the players to win. That's the whole precedence of why we did what we did and why it works. Um, so I think the whole OP program needs just to be revamped and relooked at, and I think they're trying to do that, but I don't know that they're going in the right direction. All right.
Last one is, when are we gonna get WizKids advertising?
Well, I don't know that that's fair. Um, and the reason is that they do advertise. Um, I think they advertise as much as anybody. Advertisement. You don't. Have you ever seen a Magic commercial on T?
Uh, Not in the normal channels, but stuff like Tubi and some of those apps right now are showing stuff like that actually,
But you
where
go ahead.
you would think or have commercials exist. I mean, I'll probably line up with George on this one and say I miss reading a comic book and seeing the HeroClix page.
That I would. That's a natural
in the
thing.
comics, because that is a easy bridge to get people in the game. Look, it's in the comics. What is this? Do you sell it here? Where do I find it? Like, if we have these deals with Marvel on DC, like, we should exist in their books somehow, or have an event that ties into a storyline that is current. I know that's harder because of stuff, but like licensing and secrecy of the storyline, but something like that. Maybe it needs to be a fresh story. So, like, we'll use the Justice God storyline where we already had the chases of them, but we could have had an event for that when
No.
it dropped. Here's the Apocalypse War. It's
Deceased.
3 months of these figures, and your prizes are the Justice Lords. It's so easy.
Deceased.
But I mean, yeah, Deceased, any of it. You tie into a recent event. We're doing a storyline in OP, or we're doing this bricks drop, and it's going to have a lot to do with this. It's mentioned in those books.
Lost Aaron for a second. He'll be back. He's reconnected. This has happened a few times. Hang on. Reconnecting. There he is. Yeah, I lose you every once in a while. I don't disagree with that, but I mean, what I'm trying to say is I don't think hardcore advertisement is really done by any of the game companies, and I think that tit for tat, WizKids is doing about the same. They're in the trade magazines. They show up at shows. They go online and they send stuff out. I mean, I think that that's pretty much what all of them are doing. If you do a comparison between programs, like I was reading some stuff over here, WizKids doesn't do a good job of giving the venues stuff to hang up and to put up and to. I get really mad at Pokemon and really mad at some of these places. They'll send me a pre-release kit to advertise a pre-release. Okay, I'm getting my pre-release kit 2 days before I'm running my pre-release, and now I hang a poster up to draw people to it. Everybody already knows by then. Why don't you, if you're going to advertise, why don't you give me some material like 2 months before, so I can hang it up in my store that says that hey, it's coming. Get ready on this date. We're having our pre-release. It's going to be Leonard Legacy, or whether it's Pokemon. I have a problem with all of them on. I think that I think pre-advertisement before something could be a lot better by a lot of companies, and definitely by WizKids. But WizKids doesn't even really give us anything to hang in the store or whatever. And they've also gotten. There used to be. They used to be when a set came out that you could get banners and everything from them to use on the website and using your stuff. They're not even doing that hardly anymore. It's kind of like just. It's like they started something and they got about halfway through it. They juggled people around and everybody forgot about it.
Yeah.
That's pretty much everything that he says, and that's everything I wanted to talk about. I felt like it was important. I'm trying to get what we're trying to do, and what George is trying to do is do community awareness to let people know what's going on and what maybe we would like to go on. And these things are things for you to think about. And if you come back and put a comment in later, if you think of something that needs to be put in, because I'm going to talk to Mike and tell him to come back and look at this video, and I'm going to tell him to come back and look at the comments. You are going to, anything you're saying right now is going to be read by the head honcho at WizKids. I assure you, he's going to come back and look at this. And that's what we're wanting to do. We're wanting to give them feedback. And that's why I wanted as many people here tonight as could be here. And a lot of people, a lot of people will look at this later. If you are guys, comment. Put a comment on YouTube. Put a comment on what you think and what of the things that we want to give them feedback. We want them to know how we feel. We all want this. It's a game. We all love this game. WizKids is making this game for profit, but they also love the game. We all love the game. We all are in it together. We all want it to succeed, and it isn't us against WizKids, against whatever. We want it to work. We want it to. We want the game to thrive, and thriving is everybody being happy. And the other thing that he says right here, I want to touch on a little bit, is he's touched a little bit on the rules somewhere in here. I don't see it right now, but he talked about simplifying them.
The last one.
I don't think there's much we can do about that anymore. I think we went too far. I think that the problem that you have is I don't know how you I'm gonna just. You want to know what the problem is with HeroClix and why it's so complicated? It isn't got anything to do with the regular rules. Do you know what it is, Aaron? Special rules and traits. Period. If you had no special rules and no traits in the game, the complications, because I watch people play, new people play, and they'll read their card 4 or 5 times. And they'll look, and even if it's simple, they still aren't grasping it. And the card is both the traits, and the card itself is both. It's a great and bad thing at the same time because it complicates the game, but it also allows figures to do what they're meant to do. It means that Superman he can possibly have stealth and hypersonic speed at the same time. Where if you just are clicking you're eliminating if you go back the old way. But the game was pretty good back then, and they put cards in. But if you took the cards out, you would lose players because they love the complications of the game. You might gain some players that don't like the complications of the game, but you're going to lose players at the same time. But it's the traits. I don't know if maybe you limit the traits and the special powers more. I don't know the answer to that. Um, but I don't think there's any going back. I don't think that we can simplify the game. Yes, we can make the regular rules as simple as we can, and I think they. Aaron, you tell me. We made a lot of strides in the rules.
So I will say we need a universal language that stays the same for rules. That way, if something happens in one specific way, it's that way for everything that follows like that. And I get cleaning up some verbiage or whatever on a figure that may cause some issues because how the core rules work. I mean, there are some issues with like Mogo and Umbrax right now, and a few other things from Leonard Legacy, like the batteries. I thank God they addressed the shoot. But having a universal term for this is a free action, even if it says can do as free or whatever, just using an example off the top of my head. And then that's what that is. So if you use free, it also counts as A, B, and C. We need to usually make it simpler, and that's going to help, but not lose any complexity. It's just a way to streamline the verbiage they use. I think that's the biggest thing overall.
I agree. I just think that's something that they can do better. I just don't know that. I mean, George goes way back. I go way back. I liked the hell out of the game before we had cards. Would I still be playing the game if we didn't have cards? I think I probably would. And I think that it would have been. I think things would have been fine. Of course, what happened? I mean, this is really what happened with Clicks. We started off with no cards and we just had figures, and then we added in feat and battlefield conditions. And all feats and battlefield conditions were, in a roundabout way, was generic special rules and stuff so it was like a prelude to cards. And they came in and really came hardcore and took cards where specific figures could do certain things, and it enhances the figure and it makes it really cool, but it also at the same time makes the game extremely complicated. You're sitting down and you're playing an opponent and you're having to read all of his cards and he's reading all your cards before it does. I don't know how to do that. The sideline is another thing that has made the game extremely complicated. When we started having it,
sideline is out of hand.
Yeah, sideline is. I mean, I don't know what you do. I would be completely okay if we had no sideline. I would be, and I'm not saying your figures can't still do something and just not a sideline. If I can produce a construct, I produce a construct. But it's not. I don't have all this sideline stuff that I'm chasing and adding on to figures. I think that, I mean, I get the appeal of it. I think it's cool, but I think that at some point the game becomes too complicated, and it's not the rules of the game. It's the cards. It's the cards and the sideline and all of that that's making it complicated. It's just too much. You have a game on the board and you have a game outside the board, and that's on the side, and it's just that's I don't know what to do to fix that, but I think that needs.
And sometimes you have a game within game.
Yeah.
Looking at Absorbing Prime.
Yeah.
So I mean, yeah, they've found flavor for characters, and that's always great that we have these things that do something unique for each character. I've always loved that about this game. But yeah, I mean, sidelines added 8 depths of layers to the game because of how the nuances work with certain things now. And like Lacey Sheriff Panther, look at him, and he's an answer to the avatars. Well, not really. He makes avatars better for me and worse because you picked them. Like that kind of stuff. But I mean, that goes into design, and I know that the design guys are working really hard and focused on trying to get us cleaned up. So, I mean, Leonard's Legacy looks like they were paying attention to things all the way through each rarity. So I think we're starting that path to where it's going to be more lined up and it's going to feel more fluid. So hopefully in the next couple of sets we've seen more of that. But I mean, there are lots of things coming in the future, new IPs, more sets, and that's just from the Win solicits, the Strange Tales and X-Men 97, the Venom thing they just showed off. There's lots of interesting things on the way. I know Power Rangers finally got talked about, and nobody knows if it's an Iconics or if it's a set, but no matter what it is, it's going to sell. And we all hope that it leads to more of them because of the history and depth of the Ranger story. Like,
Yeah.
You know how
there's plenty there.
For just Power Rangers?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's like 40 seasons worth of Power Rangers.
Yeah.
They could just
there's plenty to do. Yeah. I agree with that.
So I mean, I think we're getting there. I think they're testing the waters for certain things, and if they do well, we could potentially, and I mean potentially, see more of it down the road. And I think they learned from stuff like Yu-Gi-Oh, like where it wasn't modern legal, and that hurt all three of those sets. But people that liked Yu-Gi-Oh got into cliques because of that set. I know Tony, he jumped on Yu-Gi-Oh cliques and then got into competitive play. So again, that ties into reach your core audience, comic books, anime, stuff like that. If we're gonna lean into them, we need to have a way that we go, hey guys, maybe it's even just a Facebook post. If it's the anime's quote unquote Facebook page, check this out guys, new HeroClix set dropping based on us. You know, that goes a long way to reach all of their audience.
I'll tell you one
simple thing that's not mega media.
I'll tell you one thing that it just really kind of just went south. I think they should have made a set of WWE and not did it the way they did. But the WWE set went pretty crazy. I just wish they would have made a complete set out of it. I think it would have sold really well. But if you recall, the videos of WWE players playing with their figures and having a blast. That's the kind of advertisement you need.
Well, see, and that's where, like, and I get why they leaned into Xavier and Up, Up, Down, Down. That's the guys who did it. Because they play games all the time, and it's a perfect channel for them to reach. It's like, but why did we have to stop with just the WWE license? Like, I know why they did the license and how it worked with them to promote it on the show, but if Xavier and them had fun playing, why aren't we throwing them like, hey guys, Xavier, we know you're a Spider-Man fan. Check out this new Spider-Man set of stuff that's coming out. Could you do an Up, Up, Down, Down based on that since you had so much fun with the WWE stuff?
Why aren't we inviting some of these celebrities to big events and letting them play free so people see them?
Yeah. So, I mean, like, there are ways and routes and stuff they could do, and maybe this conversation gets the ball rolling. Maybe it doesn't. But it's a conversation that needs to be had.
I agree. Well, we've spent enough time doing this, guys. I've got to actually, I'm overextended. I'm supposed to have started the auction 26 minutes ago. The auction's over. I need to open up boosters. If you guys bought something, you can stick around. If you want to just stick around and watch, good. But we need to let this go, and I need to open up some boosters, and I need to get something to eat afterwards. So appreciate everybody. I think this accomplished what George Masu wanted to see, and I think this is something that we can tag WizKids in and let them. I'm not saying I'm not that I'm extraordinary, but I think I know a little bit more about. So I think I've got a few more ideas than a lot because I've been putting a lot of thought in this for years over format and over what can make the game better and organized play. So I hope that when that WizKids takes this to heart, I think we could do better. I guess that I think that's all that Aaron wants. It's all that I want. All of us want. We think we could be more. We think we could be better.
Real fast before you go do all that, and I get off here too. When is Q1 for us?
When is what? Say it again.
Q1.
You talking about for Rock?
Yeah, for like
January.
Yeah.
January. By the way, guys, we will be ending our quarterly map in just a few weeks. This is we're in the end of this quarter, which is quarter 3, which we're going to be going into quarter 4, and we have a really nice map that's going to be coming up for sale. We started doing this with the last map, so we have Alien Aquarium, and we have a variant of that, and you guys I will post and let you know when it happens, but the very first day of October, that map will go up for sale, and it's pretty nice. You're gonna want it, don't you think, Aaron?
Yeah, it's gonna be fun. I was gonna actually hint at the January stuff too.
Go ahead, do it.
Let Howard go, but we have a nice quarter 1 map already figured out, and it's gonna tie into something in the Big Easy. We'll go from that. Is that good enough of a hint, Howard?
Yeah, if you don't know what the Big Easy is, look it up.
I'll start doing some promotions for that in the next couple weeks, because we do have our date picked. It's not going to conflict with anything. So,
all right.
Go do your thing, and I'll talk to everybody soon.
All right, guys. For those that are leaving, good night. For those that are staying for the auction, let's get this thing going. All right. So we do have we still have a bounty prizes left over from last week. So what we're going to do now is we're going to open up a brand new case and get that going. I have a remote. Oh, that's the air conditioner. I don't know what that. I didn't know what that remote went to. This is what I'm looking for. An old handy dandy knife. These last ones came on a pallet, I think from WizKids through PhD, and my God, they were taped up like there was no tomorrow. All right. First thing I need to do is make sure everything's sold. I don't know. I know that earlier today, we weren't getting a extreme amount of people, but I don't know. Let me look at this real quick. Let's see if I've got some boosters I shouldn't be opening. Happens every once in a while, not too often, but it does happen. So, nope, everything's sold. We're good there. I like when everything sells. All right, so the very first thing we're going to do is I am going to add to the bounty. But right now I'm throwing in the legacy card for this one. You guys start thinking about what we want as the bounty figure with super rare out of Lantern Legacy. You actually can start listing them in the chat. So I need a super rare. Red, white clicks in November. You asking me? Probably not. But Wes, if you're still there, I am going to send you some stuff. I haven't told you that, so I'm telling you now. I have some stuff, prizing and stuff that I'm going to be sending you, man. I just haven't officially told you that, but I've had it earmarked. You're gonna get some pretty good stuff. You're gonna be happy, and just letting you know that is coming. No primes, can't do a prime. Just a solid super rare. Primes can't be nominated. One, they're rare. So what I need is just a super rare as a bounty figure, just a regular super rare. Sinestro Prime. Again, we have the same problem. It's a prime. I need just a regular super rare. Now, Superman Prime, in this particular instance, would be a prime that is just a super rare. No green circled clicks. So if you want to say Superman Prime, you can go for it. Mongol is good. Um, what's going on there, Jordan? When you gonna get back out here? But Sinestro, I got Sinestro Prime over there. If you want to change that Sinestro, I believe there is just a regular Sinestro in this set, isn't there? Not sure, but it can't be a Prime. No Primes, except for Superman Prime, who's kind of a weird thing. All right, let me throw some stuff in here for prizing. We'll throw in a tarot card. I've got the Magician. I'm going to throw in Grandmaster, an old one, out of Infinity Gauntlet way back in the day. I'm going to throw in a marquee figure of Thor. We're going to throw in a Black King from WKO. We'll throw in another WKO figure. I've got Forge. Then let's throw in, we got a Green Lantern 002-05 team up card. Last but not least, we'll throw in this Takeon from Slosh, super rare. All right. All right, so Sinestro, Sinestro's fine, but somebody said Sinestro Prime. Superboy Prime is fine. So I got Sinestro Prime, Superboy Prime, Mongol. Looks like it's Mongol. Mongol it is. Mongol is the figure that we're looking for. Let's see, what is date? 12th. How did I do that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Huh. I did 2 9s. Change that to a 12. Somehow I turned a brick into 11 boosters. Somebody really been pissed off if they pulled that one. All right. So again, we are looking for a Mongol as our super rare. That would be the win the bounty figures. All right, guys, here we go. Booster number 1. What do we have? Huh. Started off hot. So whoever's got booster number 1. This is happening a little often now. Booster number 1 is starting to be pretty hot for some reason. So we got a Sinestro Court Recruit. We got a Jessica Cruz Uncommon. I got a Violet Bat as my construct. I got a Des Trevius Uncommon B as my, and then I've got Rage of the Red one shot, and my chase is the Atom. I haven't really looked at the Atom. I think he's kind of a support figure. I think he's just really kind of support with a little bit of attack. All right, number 2. So we got our chase out of the way, right out, no suspense for the chase. So you were number 1, PKRUS. Congrats if that's you. We had a construct fall out. I also can tell you that I've got a broken, no I don't, never mind. Thought I had a broken figure, but it's not. All right, we've got Spectre, Common, the Atom, that's the one I thought that was broke. The Atom Common, we got Jade, Rare, Hal Jordan, Uncommon, A version, and we got the Chain as our construct, and we have a Legacy card, Fatality. Number 3. Yeah, I lost weight and then gained it back, Steven, but I'm going to lose some weight afterwards. I'm looking forward to seeing you there too, Ben. I'm going to be mostly playing Battle Royals the whole time and and having fun with everybody. All right, so we got a team up card. It's Scar 019A1. We got Spectre uncommon. We got a White Lantern ring. That's a good one. Got Guy Gardner rare. We got Hal Jordan 001B, and we got a Green Lantern recruit common. That was booster number 3. Booster number 4. Okay, man, that sounds good, Miguel. Brian, Georgia Brian, I think that's you, isn't it? Are you going to Worlds? Brian Ross, I believe, which would make kind of sense. I think that's Brian Ross. All right, so I've got a super rare, I've got Sonar, I've got Space Dolphin common, Beast Boy uncommon, and yep, that's you, or yep, you're going to Worlds, or yep, both. We got Bat Orange, and I've got a Kyle Rayner 002C, and I've got a Dexstar Legacy card. As far as a ride, what do you need? What do you need to get there? All right, I got a number 5. Well, give me a call later on. Give me a call sometime tomorrow. Not during the Alabama football game. Give me a call tomorrow. Not during the Alabama football game. Which is at 11. Give me a ride. See if I can't help you, son. All right. I got a Hal Jordan common. I've got a Sodom Yacht uncommon. Legacy card. I'm sorry. A Red Lantern recruit common. Despotellis uncommon. I've got a Lobo rare. Make sure that wasn't a prime. It's hard to see that green circle sometimes. And a Soundwave construct. I was thinking about Ross and got lost my train of thoughts when I was reading the cards off. All right, number 6. We've pulled 1 super rare so far? Yeah. All right, we got a Sword red construct. We got a one-shot Avarice of the Orange. We got a Sandman uncommon. We got a Gnort rare. We got a Black Lantern reanimate common, and a Kyle Rayner uncommon. Number 7. Man. Okay, did it? Yep. Every time I open these things up, if I'm not careful, the construct pops out and rolls off somewhere. Where did it go? Dang it. Oh, you see this one? What am I supposed to be looking for? Let me read it off, then I'll find it, I guess. That's weird. I saw it shoot down, but I don't see it anywhere. I see it. Hold on. It shot off way far away. It did. It rolled away. All right, I got a Lex Luthor rare, a Ganthet 04B common, Hal Jordan uncommon, Batman common, Chain Arms, that's the one that ran away. And I've got a Legacy card. We got Power Battery, Star Sapphire. Number 8. I got a Space Dolphin common, Batman uncommon, Adam common, Gambler rare, and a Blue Lantern ring, and the good legacy card. I got a Green Lantern God of Light legacy. Guess if I ever decide to, if I ever get tired of using bounties as the super rares, I could use legacy cards, man, with so many of them in here. All right, this is number 9. Number 9 is a themed booster, I believe. I think. Maybe it ain't. Maybe it is. I don't know. It looks like a yellow, everybody's yellow in it, except for one guy. I don't know if he's yellow or, yep, it's not quite. Wait a minute. Okay. Curious now. Yep, it's themed. All right, so it's yellow. We got Sinestro Corp Ring, which is a good one. We have Sornik Natu, uncommon. We have Arkillo, rare. We have Sinestro Corp Recruit. We have Power Battery, legacy card for Sinestro, and then we have Despotelis. That's the one I wasn't positive, but he is. He's yellow also. All right, number 10. There we go again. These damn things just pop out. I have to start keeping a bucket underneath me. Now, where did you go?